Frieza arrived at the mountain as if the universe had to make room for him. The ship descended slowly, too slowly, as if it wanted the whole forest to see it. The engines made the trunks vibrate. The spotlights lit the clearing like it was noon, and the air became heavy with that uncomfortable feeling that something important, something dangerous, had just landed. The soldiers came down in formation, scouters on, weapons ready, cold stares. They didn't come to explore, they came to crush. And in the center, floating on his classic seat, was Frieza, legs crossed, back straight, calm smile. The calm of someone who doesn't doubt for even a second that everything is under control. Grandpa Gohan came out from his cabin without running. He walked to the edge of the clearing with a firm step, as if the noise didn't matter to him. He carried no weapons. He carried nothing, only his presence. Frieza looked him up and down, as if he were judging an old object, and then he spoke with a fake politeness, like the kind of politeness that only exists when the one using it is certain he can kill you whenever he wants.
What an interesting scene! An old man living in nothing, hidden on a mountain, believing the universe has no right to reach him. And yet, here I am, and that's why I want to say it clearly, so you remember it even in your last second. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do to you.
Gohan frowned, not from fear, but from irritation. What bothered him wasn't the guy's power, it was the way he talked, as if he owned the air.
I don't know who you are, but honestly, I don't care about your theater. But I'm going to demand one single thing. Tell me what you're doing on my mountain. Why you bring armed soldiers, and why you dare talk to me like I was already dead.
Frieza smiled more, amused, as if the old man's answer pleased him.
How refreshing. There are still creatures who think demand means something. I'll tell you, only because your courage seems curious to me. My name is Frieza.
Gohan stayed the same. That name meant nothing to him, and that lack of reaction was like a direct slap in the tyrant's face. Frieza kept the smile, but his gaze hardened. His pride felt the hit.
Interesting. Normally, when someone hears that name, their body reacts on its own. It starts to tremble, their throat goes dry, their dignity dies before I make the first move. But you stay standing, like you don't understand what it means to be in front of me.
Gohan took a step forward, without lowering his eyes.
I don't tremble for names, or floating thrones, or prop armies. I only tremble if my family is in danger. And if you came here, it's because you came to threaten it. So I repeat, what do you want?
Frieza let out a short laugh. It wasn't joy, it was mockery.
Good, to the point. I came for a girl.
The air changed. It wasn't an exaggerated reaction from Gohan, but Frieza noticed it. The shine in the eyes, the tension in the jaw, the tiny pause before answering, as if the old man's body had understood the danger before the words. Frieza smiled with satisfaction, like he had just confirmed something.
Ah, there it is. That reaction tells me everything. It tells me the girl exists, and that you know exactly where she is.
Gohan spoke firmly, without hesitating.
There's no girl here, and even if there were, you wouldn't take her.
Frieza tilted his head, like he was talking to a stubborn child.
Don't try to play with me, old man. I'm looking for a scion, a female, now an adult. Black hair, tail, and a stare that shouldn't exist in someone of her race. I've been looking for her for a long time, and I have just enough patience to end this once and for all.
Gohan clenched his fists.
Gohan, then end whatever you have to end, but don't expect me to hand my granddaughter to you like she's merchandise.
Frieza smiled, slowly.
I like it when people use pretty words like family to feel strong. I'm going to make you an offer, and it's best you listen carefully, because no one in your life has offered you something like this. Tell me where the girl is, and I let you live. You won't have to fight. You won't have to suffer. You won't have to die here. humiliated, in front of an army. Just say a name, an address, and you go back to your little house like nothing happened."
Gohan looked at him with contempt.
"No."
Frieza blinked slowly, offended.
"No?"
Gohan repeated firmer.
"No, and I'll tell you to your face, even if you kill me, you won't get anything from me, because there's something you don't understand. I already lived my life, I already fought, I already lost, I already won, I already buried people. If I'm going to die today, it won't be by betraying the person I raised."
Frieza smiled, but the smile was already broken inside.
"How nice, how useless. Then we'll do it the hard way."
Frieza barely turned his head towards his shoulder. He didn't even point with a finger. He didn't need to.
"You, go ahead. I want to see how long that dignity lasts when the body breaks."
A soldier stepped forward, confident, tall, strong, hunter posture. He looked at the old man the way you look at someone who shouldn't be in the same place.
"Don't worry, old man. This isn't personal. You're just in the way."
Gohan got into guard. His posture was old, but correct, stable, pure technique. The soldier laughed and lunged. Gohan answered with speed for his age. Punch to the chin, turn, kick to the side. He tried to finish with a straight punch to the chest, but the soldier blocked everything like he was catching punches in slow motion. Then he returned a dry hit to the chest. Gohan stumbled back several steps. The air left him for an instant. The soldier smiled.
"Was that all? Were you really the protector of this mountain? I'm going to tell you clearly. You have nothing to do here. You shouldn't even be alive."
Gohan clenched his teeth and went back in, this time with more technique. He aimed for joints, weak points, angles. The soldier grabbed his arm, twisted it, and slammed him into the ground like he was a doll. Gohan rolled, tried to get up, but the soldier kicked him and left him on his knees. Frieza watched with no emotion.
"How sad. And to think they made me come in person for this? A stubborn old man defending a secret like it's a treasure."
The soldier grabbed Gohan by the neck, lifted him with one hand. Gohan tried to resist, grabbed the soldier's arm, but the difference was humiliating.
"Come on, old man, say it. Tell me where the girl is, and I swear maybe, I let you drop alive. If you keep this up, I'll smash you right here and nobody will remember your name."
With no air, still held the stare.
"You won't touch her."
Frieza spoke with a soft, venomous voice.
"Last time, where is she?"
Gohan, shaking, with blood in his mouth, spoke with all the pride he had left.
"Even if you kill me, I won't tell you."
Frieza sighed, tired.
"Then kill him."
The soldier tightened Gohan's throat. The old man felt his sight fading, and just before everything ended, the soldier disappeared. He didn't fall, he didn't explode loudly, he didn't scream. He was simply pulverized, like the universe had erased him on a whim. Gohan dropped to the ground, gasping, breathing however he could. The soldiers froze. Kikono took a step back without meaning to. Frieza didn't move. He didn't shout. He didn't curse. He only looked at the empty space where his man was, and then raised his eyes towards the forest.
"Come out!"
The leaves moved, and from between the trees, a figure appeared walking without hurry, like she had arrived late to something she didn't care about. A girl, not a child, a young adult. Long black hair, cyan tail, cold eyes, calm posture. She wasn't coming out panting. She wasn't coming out desperate. She was coming annoyed. Kakarot. She looked first at her grandfather on the ground, hurt. Then she looked at the soldiers, like counting how many there were. Then she looked at Frieza, and she spoke with a firm voice. No shake, no respect.
"All right, explain something to me. Who the hell are you? And what made you think you could put hands on my grandpa without anything happening to you?"
Frieza smiled instantly, excited like the scene had come out exactly how he wanted.
"So you finally show up. I searched for you for so long, and it turns out I only had to come here and break an old man's throat for you to come out."
Kakarot looked at him with a coldness that cut.
What a brave strategy. Threaten an old man to get attention? Wow, you can tell you're someone big.
Frieza clenched his jaw a little.
"Watch your tongue."
Kakarot raised an eyebrow, like amused. "Or what? Are you going to ask me for respect? Because I'll tell you something. I don't respect anyone who comes with an army to feel important." Frieza lifted his chin, proud.
"My name is Frieza."
Kakarot looked at him for a second with no emotion.
"Okay, Frieza, now you leave."
Silence. The soldier swallowed. Frieza stayed still for a second.
"Did you just order me to leave to my face? Do you know how many planets have died just for looking at me wrong? Do you know how many warriors begged for a chance to live when I delivered their sentence?"
Kakarot walked one step toward him, without hurry, eyes locked. "I'll answer you something very simple. I don't care about your victim list. I don't care about your story. I don't care if you think you're a god, a king, or a curse. The only thing I care about is you came to my home, hurt my grandpa, and that isn't forgiven." Frieza watched her closely, not only for the power, but for the attitude, that total absence of fear. And for an instant, Frieza decided to change the mask. His voice turned soft, manipulative, like a businessman making an offer.
"Listen, girl, you and I don't need to fight. In fact, it would be a waste. You have something special. It's not just strength. It's not just speed. It's something else. And that's why I came in person. Not to humiliate you, not to destroy you. I came to offer you a place that nobody else in the universe could give you."
Kakarot crossed her arms, cold expression. "Talk fast." Frieza smiled like he had gained ground.
"Join my empire. Not as a soldier, not as a tool, as my right hand. The highest position under my command. You'll have absolute authority. Main missions, entire fleets obeying you, planets paying you tribute. You'll have riches you can't even imagine, and if you want a whole world just to train, I'll give it to you. And if you want nobody to ever touch that old man again, nobody will touch him, because where you would be, nobody would dare look at you in the eye."
Kakarot listened without changing her face. Then she let out a short laugh, mocking. "That was your big plan. Offer me a spot in your circus, like I'm desperate for validation. Look at you, sitting in a floating chair talking to me about empire like that's impressive. I'll tell you with no decoration. I don't give a damn." Frieza stopped smiling. For a second, the shift was felt. The air got heavier.
"Rejecting me? You don't understand what you just did."
Kakarot stared at him. "Yes, I do. I just told you I'm not interested in anything you offer. And if you're smart, you get back on your ship and leave before the ugly part starts." Frieza let out a laugh, but it was already contained rage.
"Very well. Then die."
Kakarot didn't move an inch.
"Do it."
Frieza barely turned his head.
"Vaporize her."
The soldiers fired energy bursts. The forest exploded in light, dust, heat. The ground cracked open. The trees shook. When the smoke fell, Kakarot was still there. Same posture, same stare. And the soldiers dropped dead one after another. The worst part was that, from Frieza's perspective, she never moved. Frieza was baffled. For the first time, he felt that strange discomfort. It wasn't panic, but it was something he hated. Not understanding. Kikono trembled. Frieza forced a mocking laugh, like to cover what he felt.
Cheap tricks. You'll have to do something better if you think that impresses me."
Kakarot didn't answer. She just stared at him, and that stare with no respect was constant humiliation. Suddenly, Kakarot vanished and appeared behind Frieza in a blink. She put her hand on his shoulder. Frieza froze. He turned slowly and saw her hand. Kakarot spoke calmly, close to his ear. You're not on the level for this. And the worst part is you don't even realize it. Frieza tried to react, but Kakarot pressed his shoulder and lifted him off his chair like he weighed nothing. With her one hand, she grabbed the floating seat, looked at it for a second, and threw it into the ship. Metal bursting, sparks, silence. Kikono was speechless. The soldiers, still alive, were in shock. Frieza hung in the air, held by the shoulder, completely humiliated. Kakarot let him go and threw him to the ground. Kakarot looked down on him with contempt.
Get up! If you're going to act big, at least don't stay down like a lazy bum.
Frieza got up shaking with fury, and that was the end of the theater. His aura exploded. Without thinking, he transformed into his final form.
Enough! I am Frieza! I am the one who rules! I am the one who decides who lives and who dies!
Kakarot barely smiled, like it amused her, and for the first time, she transformed. Super Saiyan, blonde hair, aura hitting the air, wind moving her hair.
Ah, okay. So you're finally going to take this seriously. Perfect. Because you were already boring me.
Frieza rushed in with everything. Fast punches, kicks, blasts, and for a few seconds he landed hits, believing he was finally dominating her. But Kakarot was letting him. Like measuring, like testing, like evaluating how great a tyrant he really was.
Is that all? Were you really the guy everyone feared? What a disappointment. I expected something less pathetic.
Frieza roared and fired a blast. The energy grazed Kakarot's cheek. A cut. Blood. Silence. Kakarot touched the blood with 2 fingers, looked at it, and licked it clean. Her stare shifted into pure annoyance. Enough! Now, yes. At an inhuman speed, Kakarot appeared in front of Frieza and grabbed him by the neck. Frieza tried to move. He couldn't. Kakarot lifted him a bit, staring him down.
Listen to me, lizard! You came to my mountain. You touched my grandpa. You tried to buy me with a position like I'm an idiot. And now you graze my face? Like you earned the right to hurt me? You have no rights here. Here, you are nothing.
Frieza clenched his teeth, furious, but his body wouldn't respond. Kakarot squeezed harder.
And the worst is I was about to let you go because of how funny you were. But I'm tired now.
And that was it. No second round, no extra speech. Frieza fell, dead. The Empire died with him. In that forest clearing, the living soldiers backed away like the world had cracked. Kakarot looked at them with a coldness that was scary. Leave, and if you come back, there won't be a warning. Nobody argued. They ran to the ship. As they fled, only then was what had been held in suspense explained how Kakarot arrived just in time. Kakarot had developed a unique technique, something that wasn't the typical sense key. She called it Heartbeat Anchor. Kakarot memorized the exact pattern of Gohan's heart, not just the rhythm, but the micro variations, the tiny pauses, the unique signature of that heart. While Gohan is stable, that heartbeat sits in the back of her mind, constant. But what the heartbeat changes from real pain, real fear, real suffocation, the anchor screams inside her. And most important, it gives her direction, it pulls her, it guides her. That's why she appeared exactly when they were going to kill him. Because the heart failed for an instant, and that instant was the call. Kakarot walked to her grandpa. Gohan was already sitting, breathing, biting an apple like this was something he already expected. Kakarot looked at him annoyed.
Are you eating? After they almost killed you?
Gohan chewed and spoke calmly.
Yes, because with you it's always the same. I just have to hold on long enough, and you show up to put everything in its place.
Kakarot looked towards the sky where the ship left.
Then that's it. Frieza was an obstacle, and now it's over.
Very far from there, it was morning, like any other day. Bardock opened his eyes, sat up, and stayed seated for a moment. The room was simple, a worn bed, old walls, a narrow window letting light in. He got up, walked to the window, and looked outside. A remote place, quiet, old, Nothing that drew attention. Another day. Bardock clenched his fist hard, like something weighed on him. He stayed there, eyes fixed, and while he just breathed, outside that scene, in the head of anyone who knew the story, the questions were inevitable. Wasn't Bardock dead? Where exactly is he? What kind of planet is that? Who took him there? And why keep him hidden? How much time has passed since he vanished? Years? Decades? Why did he never return for Kakarot? Or why couldn't he? Is he trapped, hiding, or waiting for the right moment? What price did he pay to survive? And what did he see? What did he learn? Or what did they do to him during all that time? Bardock lowered his gaze a little, like that name pulled him from the inside. And in the end, in a lower voice, like remembering the one thing that never left his head, Kakarot.